Uh, Welcome back, man. It's another beautiful day. It's another amazing day. It is Thursday, May 23rd. I can't believe I'm saying it every day, but we are deep into the month of May. God is so good. God is great. It's a beautiful day outside. The weather is great. Welcome back to the Daily Dose, the number one daily morning mastermind for those trying to elevate and grow in their spiritual, personal, professional, entrepreneur lives. It is super amazing to be back here. I'm so grateful to be able to share with you all my thoughts, my advice, my the knowledge that I have learned, and I love learning from you all as well. I'm only drinking from my coffee cup like a barbarian. It's because I broke the handle on it. So that's why I have to grab it like this. But I'm on the rise mushrooms, man. The rise mushrooms, they're definitely a great coffee alternative. But nonetheless, we're gonna hop right into the verse of the week. The verse, chapter 139, Psalms chapter 139, verse 23 through 24. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my anxieties, and see if there is any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. As I've been saying this week, I've been going through it, been going through a lot spiritually, just trying to get better and really understand and take it to the next level. Because I ain't perfect, right? I make mistakes. We all make mistakes, but it's just about recognizing those mistakes and trying to become, truly better, for not just for ourselves, but for God. Because when we're better for God, we can be better to other people, right? We can have that. So just make sure that you're asking God this. Ask God to search your heart. Ask God to prepare you for success. Ask God to prepare you for whatever it is that you're trying to do so that He can lead you and guide you in the right direction, right? That's the main thing because none of us are going to be perfect. None of us are Jesus, right? But we can strive to be the best version of ourselves that we can possibly be just to make sure that we are operating in God's purpose. And when in the Bible, anybody who God really used for greatness, they all had flaws, right? They all had flaws except for maybe Joseph. When you start reading the Bible, as far as people who we really know like stories about and stuff like that, most people know. Most people have flaws. Most people, messed up. God still used them for greatness, right? So we'll hop right into the business topic for today. Increasing your ability to sell, right? Want to increase our ability to sell is so important to make sure that we understand how to sell, make sure that we understand sales in general, right? So we're just gonna dive a little bit deeper into selling because sometimes it's not easy for people to sell, especially a new business owner. You might have a stigma against salespeople because you may have had a bad experience. Well, we've all probably had bad experiences with salespeople, just doing it the wrong way, being too pushy, trying to sell us something that we don't even want, right? And not really understanding what it is that we're looking for. So we want to make sure that we're not doing that, and when we are selling, that we are putting our best foot forward and making sure that we are executing at a high level. So just gonna go over some tips that we can use to make sure that we are selling. Number one, identify what your customer wants, right? That's the number one thing. You got to understand what your customer wants. I used to work at Best Buy. I used to work at Best Buy. So, and specifically, I was in the home theater section. We had actually had to do like an extensive, like week long training or 2 weekends training on like selling, stuff like that. And the main thing was make sure that you understand what the customer wants in the first place. You don't want somebody to come in, yeah, they're looking for a TV, but what are they going to be using it for? Right? You don't want to try to sell somebody a $3,000 TV and they just getting a spare, they getting a TV for their spare bedroom, right? For guests to watch whatever they come over and they only gonna be watching Netflix. You got to understand what specifically your customer wants. And I should have put what your customer needs, right? So whatever product it is that you're selling, whatever service that you're providing, make sure that you understand exactly what their needs are so that you can provide the best solution for them. And then next is to create the product or service that they want, or provide it to them if you already have it. But this is another thing though, if you're in a certain industry and somebody comes to you for something and you don't already offer it, that could be like a light bulb, like maybe there's more people that really want this product or service, right? And maybe you could do some more research into it so that you can go ahead and add that, right? That's all about increasing our uh, aptitude, increasing our skill set, increasing our knowledge, increasing our value, like we talked about yesterday. So if, like I said, somebody comes to you and they want something and it is pertaining to your industry, and you don't already offer it, maybe that's something you would want to think about. Otherwise, go ahead and if you already have it, you know, provide it. Next thing diving deeper is understanding what selling really truly is. And selling is not um trying to get somebody to buy something, right? It is helping somebody buy something that they already want to buy. You understand? So it's not convincing somebody to buy something. It's not turning a no to a yes. That's not what selling is. That's what like aggressive. Maybe some people might use that strategy, but that's really not what it is, and that's what causes you to miss out on a lot of opportunities because you're just being too aggressive. You're trying to turn somebody's no into a yes, and then after a while, they just don't even want to talk to you anymore. So understand what true selling is, and true selling is helping somebody make a wise decision about a purchase that they already plan to make in their head. You're just they already wanted to go to the beach. You just providing the navigation to get there. Really. That's what selling is when you think about it. The customer has already decided in their head, boom, this they want this service, right? But you are giving them the reasons why they should get it from you, basically. So that's you want to make sure you understand that, make sure that we're not being too pushy over aggressive, we're not being too loud, all these type of things. Next thing you want to understand what your selling type is. How do you sell? Right. Recognize that now. Like how have you been selling in the past? What was your method? Were you like a avoidant seller? Some people just put stuff out there and just wait for people to buy. Right. But they don't mention it at all. It's just, okay, I have this, but they don't tell anybody about it. Right. And then it is, okay, then you have the one that's the exact opposite. They're telling any and everybody they can find about it, but it has nothing to do with them, right? So they're just pitching to everybody, and it's just not effective. So, are you a loud person? Some people, whenever they start to sell or they want somebody to get to buy something from them, they just start talking way louder than they usually talk, like the customer can't hear them or something, right? Understand what your selling type is. How have you sold things in the past? Like, what do you normally do? And then evaluate if it is effective. Evaluate that. Like, how many times have you actually sold something that you needed to sell or that you was trying to sell? And once again, selling isn't convincing somebody to buy something, it is helping them buy something that they already want to buy. So just evaluate if your method has already been effective, then add to it with things that I'm discussing today. This is might be the most oh no, it's not. But I will tell you, ask questions to your customer. Like I was talking about earlier, identifying what your customer wants. Ask deep questions. Whenever you start to ask your customer questions or your client questions, this helps them recognize your uh knowledge, right, about things. Because you're asking questions, you're like, oh, and they're gonna think like, oh wow, I never thought about that. I do need this. So, for example, whenever I was selling TVs, I gave the example earlier. It's like, okay, they might just need a TV for the spare bedroom, but then you dive deeper, like, okay, um, how many people do you think will be watching this? Or how many, what, like, what else are you going to be doing on the TV? Are you going to be gaming? Are you going to be streaming? Right? Are you going to be watching cable? Are you going to watch a lot of movies? Right? And then you piggyback off of that. It's like, okay, well, what kind of internet do you already have? Because you might need higher speed internet as well. And not to try to have to sell them, it's more like a new router or something like that, but it's to get them to understand, like, okay, if I buy this super expensive TV that has all these features, I might not even be able to use all these features if I don't have the right internet that will be able to stream the quality of TV it is. Because at the time, 4K had just came out, right? And so people was like just going from 1080p to 4K, and people was like, oh yeah, you're even if you have a 4K TV, if you don't have like higher speed internet, you're not going to be able to see the picture in 4K anyway. So it's asking questions to help not not just for you to sell something, but it's to educate your customer on the type of thing that they actually need. Like I said, they could be just trying to go to the beach, um, but in reality, they may want just to stay at the hotel and look at the beach, right? They don't even want to get in the sand. You want to know exactly what your customer want and is looking for, and make sure that you educate them on what you can provide and what you offer and what kind of differentiates your product from the best. So it's like, okay, you're looking for this. What do you expect to achieve from getting this? That's the type of stuff you're getting from your customer. Like, what do you expect? How does this better your life? Ask so many questions, and you should be the subject matter expert for whatever it is you do, whatever service you offer, whatever product it is. You are in your industry, you are the subject matter expert, especially whenever you have a customer that you're talking to. So make sure that you're asking very detailed questions to help you understand what your customer needs, and the client and customer understand what you have to offer. And like I said, lead them to the right solution. Because at the end of the day, the right solution might not be your product. Your stuff might be too expensive, right? And that's cool. You got to understand that the purpose of a sale is for it to benefit both parties. You are providing something that the customer wants, and you are receiving monetary consideration for what you just provided to the customer, right? So it's supposed to be a win-win. You don't want the customer don't want to walk away feeling like they just got ripped off, and you don't want to walk away feeling like you just gave something away, right? So it's supposed to be a win-win. You want to lead them to the right solution when it as it pertains to selling and giving your product. And this is the most important part of the whole entire equation. You have to be prepared to not make a sale. You have to be okay with, okay, if this ain't the right thing, then it's not the right thing. You don't want to be in a mode to where you are so eager or desperate to make the sale that you are just trying any and everything, because then the client's going to know that and see that, and it's not even going to give off the best energy. Also, like I said, you don't want to just sell to everybody, because then people gonna do what they want regardless. But you have a lot of people that'll, buy something, and then especially if you have an online product, buy something and then use it, and then call the credit card company and say you didn't provide what you said, whatever the case may be. So you want to understand, like, whatever you're providing, whatever you're giving off, you're putting out there. You want to make sure that this is like I said, a win-win. And be prepared to not make that sale or not make that transaction, because everything is for everybody, right? So that's gonna be how you increase your ability to sell. These are some key tips and tools you can use to make sure that you're increasing your sales and maybe lead to more conversions. Self-development. Self-development. We just be talking about reading more books. It is so key for us to read more books, especially in the Black community. I had was able to take some time to. Well, I had a job where I was doing some stuff in the school system, not as a teacher, but kind of like I don't know, it's similar to a tutor, but not really. Did a whole bunch of stuff. But what I recognized was, our kids our community, the reading level is atrocious. We have sixth, seventh, eighth graders reading on like a second, like first, second, and third grade level, and it's so sad because you just can't move forward in life without knowing how to read and comprehend at a high level, right? And I'm talking about school age kids, but I mean, think about adults. How many adults do you know go a whole year without reading one book? You know what I'm saying? And that just it impairs our ability to expand our brain. We need to all be reading more books. It is so important for us to read more books, and I'm just going to outline why it's just so important, or and things you could do. Read books about many topics. Don't just limit yourself to what you're interested in, right? Read books about um business, right? And then but you can break the business topics down. Read books about finance. And then you got different things about finance. Read books about uh art. Read books about animals. Read books about like autobiographies, right? About people's lives. Read books about cooking. Read books about sports, right? Just read books about many different topics, and that's how you learn, and that's how you get a super broad perspective of life, and you can see things and you can attack them from different angles, and you'll just be so well versed and knowledgeable about so many things, and it'll just increase your brain. It'll expand your brain and open yourself up to receiving more knowledge and wisdom just throughout your everyday life, because you'll be more knowledgeable about stuff to even ask a question about, even to enter into a conversation about. Learn and develop yourself through reading books. Yeah, we have self-help books, but like I said, you have so many other books that you can read, even fictional books, right? You can read these stories that people create. They're super creative. Um, and you can learn yourself through a fictional book, through a fictional character. Maybe you can sense some relatabilities, and maybe through the character story, um and how they overcome or how they go through different things, you can learn to develop yourself through that as well. So it's not just limited to nonfiction. You can read fictional books and you can increase yourself as well, expand yourself. Reading more books, they help you understand more about life. Like I said, when you're going through all of these many topics, you get different perspectives, and then you see that, okay, this is different, right? You never thought about something in a certain way because somebody did it this way or somebody did it that way. If Kobe would have never wrote his book, yeah, we have stories from other people about how Kobe worked, but we would have never known firsthand, like, okay, nah, he was really doing this. Like, this was really his mindset of trying to be the best to ever do it, right? If he would have never wrote the book, would have never known how he did it or how he went about doing that stuff. Same thing with so many other people, athletes, business owners, entertainers, right? And 50 Cent book. No lie, 50 Cent book. And it's so funny because I can only imagine how many other rappers, entertainers do the same thing. But in 50 Cent book, he said he in the club, he don't even drink. He's like he pour it in the cup, he pour it out, and then he pour ginger ale in the cup. Like he don't even be in the club drinking, and everybody think 50 just like nowadays you won't know because he don't wrote the book, but back in the day, he had a hit song in the club. You would think bro was just in the doing it up, but it's just you understand more. Then he explained why he don't and all of that type of stuff. But it's like wow, it's just a whole lot of different perspectives you get from reading books. You can understand just more about what's going on in the world because they say definitely, that the saying for us anyway is if you want to hide something from a black person, put it in a book. And as far as the books that I've read, it is that's so true. There's so many nuggets in books that you would just never hear about just through life. And you only would get that information through reading a book. Oh, and like I said, getting valuable information. It's there. It's step by step guides for you to do things in life from reading a book. Those books will help you out so much. Pick up a book and read it because, like I said, there's so many different topics to go on that has valuable information. It's a cheap and effective way to learn. Books cost max $50. Right. I just bought Gary V new book and it was $40. He upped the price. Usually his books be around 20, 25, but this book is called Day Trading Attention, all about really how to level up in this new wave of social media. So I just bought that book, and he said he really went into detail on how to capitalize on stuff like TikTok and all the newer social medias that's out. And if you don't know, Gary Vee has been in the social media space for a super long time. He was one of the first people to even start selling stuff on YouTube, right? When YouTube first came out in 2008, people was just using it for cat videos. He was doing wine reviews and selling wine. But Gary Vee been on it, and it's so cheap. You can go get a book and learn about anything for $50 or less. You don't gotta buy a course. You don't gotta buy a coach. You can just literally go get a book. I read one book about rental property investing by the Bigger Pockets by Brandon Turner. No lie, I didn't even finish the book and I went and bought my first rental property. It's such a cheap and effective way to learn stuff, right? When you go buy books and you read them. And this is another thing, you want to read every day. You want to take some time. If you're going to you can either do it two ways. You can do time limit or you can have a page limit. Okay, I'm gonna read 10 pages a day. Okay, I'm gonna read 15 minutes. You can you can start with 10 minutes a day, right? And then just work your way up. 5, 10 minutes and go read. Just take some time to because it just increases so much. First of all, you get in the mode to where you're chilling. Then you get to increase your comprehension skills. So your communication skills are better. Now your relationship skills can get better, right? Reading just helps and benefits so much. And then this is the last one. I want to throw this up there just because of what I said. We need to be reading to our kids. We need to be reading to our kids, reading with our kids, and making our kids read because in our community, like I said, it is bad. Like we are bad off unless your kid is in a private school or you're in a bigger city or a big city with nice public schools. It is like, and unless you're taking the time to work with your kids at home, they're not going to get that stuff at school. So you have to take it upon yourself to do that as a parent, as a older adult. Even if you don't have kids, you're around some kids. You need to just be like, especially in your family, just be like, hey, we got to read. Like, I'm kind of different because I'll do it like in any setting. We had a birthday party, family reunion. Like, I don't care. Like, bro, like, what's your reading skills like? Like, can you really do this? Like, because it's that deep and it's that important because our kids will get left behind quick. But they'll push them through the system. You'll have people graduating high school still reading on the sixth grade level. And it's like, bro, what are you going to do with that? You can barely read the job description to fill out a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, it's so many things that we got to be able to read. And if we can't read, then it's over. Well, it's just over. Um, but yeah, that'll wrap it up for today. Tomorrow is Friday. Uh, just hope everybody have a super blessed day. It's been a great week, and we'll be right back at it tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a blessed